Alright, welcome. It's the Bald Bearded Bicyclist, and this is week 8 of the Fireball series that we've been doing. Make sure you check the playlist for the other videos if you haven't seen any yet. This one started out pretty fast, so you can actually see Drew off the front here. This is the first lap. We had just got going, and I think Jim was kind of following for a second, and then he dropped back, and James is going to go. So the two of them go, and we just kind of let it happen. So I'm kind of patrolling the front here, seeing if any of these other guys want to jump across, and I see Big Steve here go, and I'm going to try to get on his wheel and hopefully have him bring me up to James and Drew here. Now, I unfortunately didn't have my back camera. This is another one where I rode out, needed my tools, and so I did not have that back camera. But I think around here, we're only doing 150 watts. We probably realized everyone else is on us, so we're just going easy. There was always the choice that I could have gone when Steve realizes I'm on his wheel to try to keep the pace up, but I'm pretty sure everybody else was right behind us, so didn't really feel like doing the work myself. And obviously they are there because Tyler puts in a bit of a counterattack, and Jim goes with him. And then some gaps here. Let's see if we let this go at all. So Tom kind of sits up, and Steve wants to close this, so I'm gonna stay on his wheel. And it's tough. I mean, he's going hard. Even in the draft, I'm going really hard. So these guys slow down up here. I think they realized we were coming, and I was thinking about attacking through here, and I probably should have, but I was just a little nervous. Tyler kind of pulled off to the left, Jim stayed to the right, and I could have gone right in between. I just always feel more comfortable attacking on the outside. It's just, I don't like leaving myself without an out. So a little bit further up, Steve tacks again, and I'm kind of looking around like, why wasn't anybody on his wheel? And I realize nobody else is going to chase him, so I'm going to do it myself. And this is kind of the third time I've had to follow him, and I kept getting caught near the front, and for whatever reason, nobody else from my team was marking him. So it was getting a little bit frustrating because I am really hurting here. 173 BPM. I'm working hard, and it's been this a few times. So, at this point I'm catching, but I got to keep the watts up to do so. You could see the other guys were just making that turn. We haven't caught them yet. Now I'm going to keep my speed. He kind of pulls wide, and I take the inside, and he was not happy about that. We talked about it afterwards. I felt like I had plenty of room and I was carrying speed, so I took the inside. But what I do agree with him is that I should have just given him the courtesy yell of, hey, inside. At the end of the day, it is a practice race. I'm not trying to do anything sketchy or cause anybody harm, so I should have just let him know, like, hey, I'm on the inside, I'm carrying more speed, I'm gonna take this line. So definitely could have just done that out of courtesy. But I follow this attack, and I think there was a little bit of a gap, but again, not having a back camera, who's to say? But everyone in this back group was pretty motivated, I think, knowing that there was already a breakaway. So Steve's gonna go again. Just seems like he's got an endless well of energy here. So I'm gonna do my best to get back on his wheel and see if I can make something happen. You know, I was totally fine if it was just the two of us, if we could get away. But I think what kept happening was I wasn't able to snap quite hard enough. Then people saw him going first, so they probably started revving it up. And, you know, by the time I was on his wheel, people were on my wheel. So once again, this is the third lap, and he's going again. And I'm just looking like, you know, I can't keep doing this. Again, I had gotten stuck on the front after I chased him the last time. Thankfully, Rich was keeping an eye on him that time and followed, which gave a couple others the opportunity to jump in the wheels and gave me a little bit of opportunity to get on here, because luckily they shut it down, and if they realized a couple guys, and I was really hurting. This would have been a good place to counterattack. I waited too long. I kind of let that initial speed die down while I was trying to get a bit of energy back, and then I went, which is not the right way to go about it. I should have just kept that speed and attacked before, but I waited too long, so they were able to get on me, and you could see my watts starting to drop there. So looks like I'm stuck on the front again, and once again Steve goes, but again, luckily Rich is in the wheels there, and I'm trying to bring my speed up here to get on the back of this pack, and I think at this point in the race I'm struggling to do so. So this was a crazy, like, hard race. Just being back here, I think I normalized 322 watts for this race. My FTP is somewhere around 290 right now. So the amount of surging and attacking, it was pretty insane. And I was very thankful that Tyler kept the power on here a little bit, and that, you know, I'm fine doing some work. He flicked me through. And Rich up here is not only outnumbered, but Todd, who I've kind of been battling back and forth with, and lovingly referred to as my nemesis in these Fireball series, was up here. So I couldn't really let that get away. And I think that I may have flicked my elbow at some point, right around here. Oh, there we go. I mean, some they pull through. I think I was a little nervous that no one would pull through, but keeping it moving and slowly bringing these guys back. So I think Tom brought up the pace pretty big there, because I was doing like 400 in the draft, but I'm not going to leave this to chance. You know, with Shikluna outnumbering Rich there, it looked like Chris maybe was going to not pull through. So I decided to just close this myself, even though I've done quite a lot of work already this race. So you can see that heart rate climbing up, and I think you could see Todd, as he saw that I was coming, he jumped to the front of their group to try to get their speed up so that I could maybe not make this catch here, which was smart, because I was really hurting, and that really hurts the motivation when you're getting close and all of a sudden that group in front of you picks up their speed again. It's definitely can hurt your soul. See, like, they're doing it again, so they pick it up once again, and oh man, I was getting so close, and now I'm back to 400 some watts. It hurts to watch this. These moments just seem to last forever sometimes when you're in a race and you're just clawing your way back. I am gaining on them, but it's this is a painful one for sure. I finally sit up here, and I'm able to make it all the way back. If they didn't set up, I don't know how much longer I could have held on. So now I'm just trying to catch my breath, and that was really a good time for Jim to do that little counter. And I think, he may have been hurting too. He didn't really blast by us or anything, but at least keeping his speed is going to force our group to pick things up again. Now it got a little sketchy here with these riders, and thankful they just stopped there so that we didn't have to do anything sketchy. Now just hurting so much, but that would have been a good opportunity to maybe attack. It's easy to point out moments when you're not feeling like absolute garbage. But this is a little further on, 5th lap, and we're 20 minutes in. Rupp must have dropped to the back, so he attacks again. Actually, right before this, I had told Jim, I said, Jim, you need to get on Rupp's wheel. For whatever reason, every time I would go with him, everyone would bring it back, and I think it's because, Todd would go, and then people would follow him. So it was just a lot harder for me to try to get away with Rupp. So I figured maybe Jim could. And what do you know? No one chased them, and they end up staying away. Drew and James also stayed away. Spoiler alert. So those are the top 4 positions here. And then we're just playing a little bit back here. For a little while, I think we were working together for a very short period of time. And then just, people started attacking, and it got a little disorganized. So, we had Chris with a little attack earlier, and then this is Rich here. And I'm going to let it go, see if, anyone decides to join him. And depending on who it is, I might be okay with it. I see it's Moose, and I don't really want to let this go. I think, it's tough at this point. I probably don't have a shot at the podium anymore, but the 2 people who was kind of battling with at this point were Moose and Todd. So, if there's an opportunity for me to beat them, I'd like to do that. I've missed 2 weeks. I'm finding out that I don't know there's any drop weeks or anything, which in a 12-week series is a little brutal, I think. But it is what it is, and I have to kind of keep an eye on the guys that are in contention for the podium. So I chased that back. I would have liked to let Rich go, but I had to follow Moose. So we got Tyler with a little attack here, and just want to see if anyone else is going to go. I'm on the front, so I don't really want to drag everybody. And this is just a little further up. We got Moose who goes again. Rich follows, Chris follows. So I'm trying to bring my speed up to get on this, and I'm able to hop into Todd's draft, and it looks like these guys are kind of quitting already. Just a short bit up the road. This was a real good opportunity to attack. Everyone kind of slowed down, and I just had no room. I got boxed in. Tyler kind of speeds it up a little bit from the front, but I definitely felt like that was a good place to attack, and I just didn't have the space. So just make sure you keep your options open, I guess, is the lesson there. And you know at some point it's going to slow down, so make sure you leave yourself an opportunity. So I kind of jumped on Moose really quick here, and then he shut it down early, and I kind of second guessed whether I should maybe carry that speed and momentum and attack right through, or if I should save the energy. And I ended up getting just stuck on the front, and looking back on it, I wish that I had just attacked right over, because I think a lot of people would have maybe thought, oh, well, it's the two of them, we don't need to follow it. But if I attacked over, again, without back camera, I don't know if there was a gap or not behind me. But so Chris made a good move here and attacked over when I made that little move, and Rich is going to try to bridge. So I'm sitting and waiting for Todd to do some work. Again, if he's going to do work and I can get into his draft, great, but I don't want to close the gap to Rich myself and have him be on my wheel. He'll just do a little bit more work, and need to try to play that more often. Just get other people to do close those gaps. There's just a lot of kind of rotating at the front while people are deciding what they're going to do here. And I see Tyler go, and I'm thinking that, maybe the two of us can get away. I kind of yell out to him. I say, go, Tyler, go. And I'm thinking if he can get on my wheel, maybe we can get a gap. But thinking back on it now, maybe I should have just not given him a warning and attacked over, because with him going slower and then trying to attach to my wheel, it gives somebody basically an extra bike length to get onto me. So if I went solo, I might have had a bigger gap, which would have dissuaded people from following, or at least made it a little bit harder. So it's tough. You want people to work with you. And so looking back at the last time that Moose attacked, I decided that I was going to just attack through this time, and either he can bring it up and maybe the two of us can get away, or maybe not, and we quickly get brought back, or they close that gap, so I shut it down. You could just tell this is the last lap. Everybody's hurting at this point. It's been a really hard race. And so you got Moose who went, and I believe Tom was the one that followed him. And then we've got Tyler, Chris, Todd, myself, and then Rich. And we are bringing back Moose slowly here, and I think Tom might be on the front, putting in some work to keep our pace up. Appreciate that. He pulls off, Tyler picks up the pace. So, guys are I got to be a little bit careful, because now we've got Chris and Todd in between myself and Tyler. So if Tyler pulls off and the Scicluna guys want to let Moose go, then all of a sudden that gap is going to open back up. But we got Rich came from the back here and decides to give Tyler a little help. So he kind of picks up the pace. And you can see we're slowly bringing him back here. So we are coming into the second to last turn. About 1,600 meters here, and we are just catching Moose now. It looks like Rich is doing a bit of attack on here. He saw that no one was quite on his wheel on that catch, so he countered, and Todd's not going to let him go. So luckily I was in position to just stay on his wheel. Now I think everybody kind of reshuffled and is now on my wheel. But we got got Rich kind of keeping at least a tempo, so we're not going so slow that people really want to go too early. And honestly, I'm thinking, okay, this is great. Rich is kind of leading me out a little bit. Third wheel, and I don't know how long he's going to be able to hold this, but I was thinking when Rich pulls off, I'm going to attack. Doesn't matter when that is, but I'm just thinking, like, I'm gonna go when he's done, because I don't want to play games and get stuck on the front here, because I know that as soon as Rich stops, Todd is going to stop. So that's what I'm thinking, and he pulls off now, and so I'm like, okay, here we go. This is much earlier than I wanted to go or intended to go, but I gave it everything. You saw 1,000 watts for a bit there, and I'm still in the 700s. I just dump everything I've got here, and again, remember all the attacks and the work I was doing earlier. I was honestly surprised by how much I had in the tank here. This is the first time this year that my heart rate has gone over 180, and it is just sitting at 182. Unfortunately, Todd is able to come around me. He said he definitely struggled to get on my wheel, but once he gets to the point where he's in the draft at all, he's doing less work, and then he's just got to come around because I was fading. So good job, Todd, and congrats to the 4 that got away before us. It was a hard race, and I felt it, but we'll see you on the next one. Got a few more of these to go this year, and make sure you're subscribed to catch all the action. Thanks a lot. Bye.